Video of the Certified in Cybersecurity certification exam. In this video, we're going to be going through practice questions and answers for the likely questions that will be coming on the exam. For domain 5, we'll be covering security operations, which will form 18% of the test questions, and the questions will be on data security, such as encryption methods. For the encryption methods, we have the symmetric, asymmetric, hashing. We'll also have some questions coming from data handling, such as destruction, retention, classification, labeling of data, as well as logging and monitoring security events. Under security operations, we'll also have some questions coming from system hardening, such as configuration management, baselines, patches, and updates, as well as the different security policies like the password policy, acceptable use policy, bring your own device policy, privacy policy, and so on and so forth. We'll also be having some questions from security awareness training. So let's dive into the questions. Question 1. According to ISC2, what are the 6 phases of data handling? A. Create, store, use, share, archive, destroy. B. Create, use, store, share, archive, destroy. Option C. Create, share, store, use, archive, destroy. Option D. Create, store, archive, use, share, destroy. The answer here is option A. Data is created, then stored, used, shared, archived, and finally destroyed. Question 2. What does password hashing do? Option A. Stores a password in plain text form. B. Change the password into a new value periodically. C. Encrypts the password to prevent unauthorized access. D. Changes a password into an irreversible string of characters. The answer here is option D. Hashing changes a password into an irreversible string of characters. Question 3. What are some best practices for data destruction? A. Storing all data indefinitely, regardless of its importance or sensitivity. B. Developing and implementing a data destruction policy, training employees on data destruction, and regularly auditing data destruction practices. Option C. Only deleting data when storage space is needed. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is option B. For data destruction, you need to develop and implement a data destruction policy. You need to train your employees on data destruction, as well as regularly auditing data destruction practices to ensure that you're complying with the laid down policies. Question 4. Which policy outlines how data should be classified and labeled within an organization? Option A. Data handling policy. B. Privacy policy. C. Acceptable use policy. D. Password policy. The answer here is option A. Data handling policy. Question 5. What process involves assigning a level of sensitivity to data based on its importance and potential impacts if disclosed? The answer here is option C. Classification. Question 6. How many data labels are considered good practice? Option A. 1 to 2. Option B. 1. Option C. 2 to 3. Option D. Greater than 4. The answer here is option C. This is because data labeling plays an important role in cybersecurity with respect to the CIA triad, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. In confidentiality, data labeling ensures that sensitive information is appropriately identified and protected. With respect to integrity, it ensures adequate verification and authenticity of the labeled data. This helps to prevent data corruption, manipulation, or tampering. ensuring that the data retains its integrity throughout its life cycle. In respect to availability, data labeling facilitates the availability of data by organizing and categorizing it in a structured manner. When data is properly labeled, it becomes easier to locate, retrieve, and use for various purposes. This ensures that only authorized users have timely access to the data they need to perform their task efficiently. Question 7. Abila's team just implemented a new system that gathers information from a variety of different log sources, analyzes that information, and triggers automated playbooks in response to the security event that arises. What term best describes this technology? Option A, log repository. Option B, IPS. Option C, SOAR. Option D, SIEM. The correct answer here is option C. The security orchestration, automation, and response technology is a suite of tools and solutions that are designed to streamline and enhance an organization's security operations. Question 8. Which cryptography technique is used to ensure the integrity and authenticity of data transmitted over a network? The answer here is option B, hashing. Question 9. Which activity involves systematically observing and recording security-related events to ensure accountability? The correct answer here is option C, logging. Question 10. Sally is a security engineer investigating a series of security incidents at her company, where several employees received emails that contains malicious attachments. The emails were directed to the employees by name. What kind of attack is this? Option A, worm phishing. B, spear phishing. C, advanced persistent threats or APT. D, zero-day attack. The correct answer here is option B, spear phishing. This is a kind of phishing attack that targets people by their names. Question 11. The last phase in the data security cycle is option A, backup. B, archival. C, destruction. D, encryption. The correct answer here is option C, destruction. Question 12. What are some best practices for data retention? Option A, storing all data indefinitely, regardless of its importance. Option B, regularly reviewing and updating data retention policies to ensure compliance with changing legal and regulatory requirements. Option D, deleting all data as soon as it is no longer needed, regardless of legal or business requirements. Option D, none of the above. The correct answer is option B. The best practice for data retention is by regularly reviewing and updating data retention policies in order to ensure compliance with the changing legal and regulatory requirements. Question 13. What concept is often included in security awareness training to educate employees about deceptive tactics used by attackers? A, acceptable use. B, encryption techniques. C, social engineering. D, data classification. The answer here is option C, social engineering. Now, social engineering is a tactic that is used by hackers or bad actors to manipulate and deceive people into divulging confidential information or granting access to systems. Social engineering relies on exploiting the human psychology and trust rather than exploiting technical vulnerabilities. And this social engineering could come in different forms such as phishing, baiting, pretexting, quid pro quo, and tailgating. Question 14. What is the primary purpose of a firewall in network security? Option A, to encrypt data transmitted over a network. Option B, to detect and remove viruses from a network. Option C, to prevent unauthorized access to or from a private network. Option D, to authenticate users logging into a network. The answer here is option C. Firewalls prevent unauthorized access to or from a private network. Question 15. Which of the following is a common method used to prevent buffer overflow of cross-site scripting attacks? A. Cryptography. B. Hashing. C. Input validation checking. D. Security policies. The correct answer here is option C. Input validation checking ensures that any data that is being entered by users into an application, such as web forms or user input fields, are validated to meet certain criteria or constraints. Question 16. What is the term used to describe a method of securely transmitting data over a network by encapsulating it within another protocol, such as the Internet Protocol? A. Data encryption. B. Tunneling. C. Load balancing. D. Network segmentation. The correct answer here is option B. Tunneling is a method that securely transmits data over a network by encapsulating it within another protocol. Question 17. Which process involves establishing a secure initial configuration for systems? Option A. System hardening. B. Data handling. C. Destruction. D. Encryption. The correct answer here is option A. System hardening establishes a secure initial configuration for systems. Question 18. What are the main things a cyber attacker will attempt to learn from running scans against a range of IP addresses? A. Identify systems, open ports, zero-day vulnerabilities, credit card information. B. Identify systems, data classification, MAC addresses, known vulnerabilities. C. Identify systems, operating systems, open ports, and known vulnerabilities. D. Identify systems, geographical locations, applications, and zero-day vulnerabilities. The answer here is option C. When a cyber attacker runs scans against a range of PCs or a range of IP addresses, their intention is to identify the systems, the operating systems, the open ports, and the known vulnerabilities which they can exploit. Question 19. Which type of attack will effectively provide privileged access to a computer while hiding its presence? Option A. Trojans. Option B. Cross-site scripting. Option C. Phishing. Option D. Rootkits. The correct answer here is option D. Rootkits are types of attacks that hackers launch to provide privileged access into a system while hiding its presence. Question 20. What is the primary purpose of logging and monitoring security events? A. Encrypting data. B. Classifying data. C. Identifying security incidents. D. Managing data retention. The answer is option C. Identifying security incidents. Question 21. Which of the following best describes a phishing attack? A. A method of gaining unauthorized access to a system by exploiting vulnerabilities in software. B. An attempt to trick individuals into revealing sensitive information by posing as a trustworthy entity. C. A type of malware that spreads rapidly across networks. D. A technique used to monitor and analyze network traffic for security purposes. The answer is option B. A phishing attack is an attempt to trick an individual into revealing sensitive information by posing as a trustworthy entity. Question 22. What type of attack embeds malicious payload inside a trusted software? A. Phishing. B. Trojans. C. Cross-site scripting. D. Rootkits. The answer here is option B. A Trojan is a type of attack that embeds a malicious payload inside a trusted software. So it comes disguised as a software that is useful, but once you install it on your system, it embeds the malicious payloads and attacks your system. Question 23. What is egress monitoring? A. Monitoring the performance of network devices to detect and prevent unauthorized access. B. Monitoring the behavior of network users to detect and prevent unauthorized access. C. Monitoring incoming traffic to detect and prevent unauthorized access. D. Monitoring outgoing network traffic to detect and prevent unauthorized access. The answer here is option D. Egress monitoring monitors all outgoing network traffic in order to detect and prevent unauthorized access. Question 24. Which of these types of credentials is not used in multi-factor authentication? A. Something you have. B. Something you trust. C. Something you know. D. Something you are. The correct answer here is option B. Something you trust is not a type of multi-factor authentication. Question 25. Which of the following attack takes advantage of poor input validation in websites? A. Phishing. B. Trojans. C. Cross-site scripting. D. Rootkits. The answer here is option C. Cross-site scripting takes advantage of poor input validation in websites. Question 26. Which of the following is an example of an information asset registry? A. A list of all the suppliers and vendors used by an organization. B. A list of all the employees in an organization and their roles. C. A database of all the financial transactions of an organization. D. A list of all the hardware and software assets in an organization. The correct answer is option D. An information asset registry is a list of all the hardware and software assets in an organization. Question 27. What is the purpose of encryption in cybersecurity? A. To hide information from unauthorized users. B. To slow down network traffic. C. To delete sensitive data. D. To monitor network activity. The correct answer here is option A. To hide information from unauthorized users. Question 28. Which of these is an effective way of hardening a system? A. Installing an IDS. B. Running a vulnerability scan quickly. C. Patching the system. D. Creating a DMZ for web applications. The answer here is option C. According to the NIST SP 800-152, hardening is the elimination of any means of an attack by simultaneously patching vulnerabilities and turning off non-essential services. So the answer here is option C, patching the system. Question 29. What is the term for establishing a secure baseline configuration for a system? A. Data handling. B. Configuration management. C. Log analysis. D. Hashing. The answer here is option B. Configuration management establishes a secure baseline configuration for systems. Question 30. What is the purpose of creating a baseline in ensuring system integrity? A. To protect the information. B. To understand the current state of the system. C. To compare the baseline with the current state of the system. D. All of the above. The answer here is option D. Establishing a baseline in ensuring system integrity ensures all of the above. It protects the system, it understands the current state of the system, and it compares the baseline with the current state of the system. Question 31. The number of keys required for symmetric encryption between two parties are A. 4, B. 1, C. 2, D. 3. The answer is option B. Symmetric encryption uses just one key between two parties. Question 32. If a device is found not to comply with the security baseline, what is the best line of approach? A. Disable and separate it into a quarantined area so a virus can be run. B. Mark it as potentially vulnerable and place in a quarantined area. C. Disable or isolate into a quarantined area until it can be checked and updated. D. Place in a demilitarized zone until it can be reviewed and updated. The answer here is option C. When a system is found not to comply with the security baseline, it is best advised to disable or isolate it into a quarantined area until it can be checked and updated. Question 33. What is the role of communication in change management with respect to cybersecurity? A. To keep changes confidential to prevent leaks. B. To increase the complexity of security measures. C. To delegate responsibility for changes to a third-party provider. D. To inform employees about changes to security measures. The answer here is option D. Communication in change management informs employees about changes to security measures. Question 34. What number of keys are used for asymmetric encryption between two parties? Option A 2, B 4, C 3, D 1. The answer here is option B. 4 keys are used. One party has a public and private key, and the other party also has a public and private key. That makes it 4 keys. Question 35. What is data remanence? A. The tendency of data to persist after it has been deleted. B. The ability of data to be recovered from backups. C. The process of securely deleting data from a storage device. D. The process of encrypting data to protect it from unauthorized access. The answer is option A. Data remanence is the tendency of data to persist after it has been deleted. Question 36. What is security awareness training? A. A process of teaching employees how to use software and hardware tools to improve productivity. B. A way of teaching employees how to improve customer service skills. C. A way of educating employees about the importance of data protection and how to identify and avoid security threats. D. A way of teaching employees how to protect the physical security of the organization. The answer is option C. Security awareness training is a way of educating employees about the importance of data protection and how to identify and avoid security threats. Question 37. What is the best approach to managing the risk of change in cybersecurity? A. Outsourcing cybersecurity to a third-party provider. B. Ignoring the risk and hoping for the best. C. Developing a dynamic risk-based approach to cybersecurity. D. Implementing a set of static security measures. The answer here is option C. Question 38. What is the primary objective of degaussing? A. To erase the data on a disk. B. To prevent magnetic side channel attacks. C. To retain the data on the disk. D. To reduce noisy data on the disk. The answer is option A. Degaussing is a technique used to erase the data on a storage device where they are exposed to strong magnetic fields that neutralize the magnetic records of the data stored on the disk. Question 39. What concept educates employees about the importance of not clicking on suspicious links or attachments in emails? A. Password protection. B. Phishing awareness. C. Encryption techniques. D. Social engineering. The correct answer here is option B. Phishing awareness. Question 40. Which of the following terms refers to a collection of fixes? A. Hotfix. B. Patch. C. Service pack. D. Downgrade. The answer here is option C. A service pack is made up of a collection of updates, fixes, or enhancements to a software program delivered as a single installable package. A hotfix is a cumulative package that includes information that will be used to address a problem in a software product, while a software patch is a quick repair for a piece of programming to improve security and/or add new features. So the answer here is C, service pack. Question 41. What type of encryption algorithm is used for protecting data at rest? A. Asymmetric encryption. B. Symmetric encryption. C. Hashing. D. None of the above. The answer here is option B. Encryption at rest is the encryption that is used to protect data that is stored on a disk, including solid-state drives or backup media. Examples of data at rest are databases, files, and file archives, USB drives, and cloud storage access like buckets. Question 42. Which of the following is a potential consequence of violating an acceptable use policy? A. Monetary fine. B. A written warning. C. Disciplinary action up to and including termination. D. Public shaming. The answer here is option C. Disciplinary action up to and including a termination. Question 43. What process involves securely archiving data for long-term storage and retrieval? A. Classification. B. Retention. C. Transmission. D. Destruction. The correct answer here is option B. Retention involves securely archiving data for long-term storage and retrieval. Question 44. What is a privacy policy? A. A document that outlines an organization's financial policies and procedures. B. A document that outlines an organization's employee benefits and compensation policies. C. A legal document that outlines an organization's data protection practices and how it handles personal information. D. A marketing tool used by organizations to promote their products and services. The answer is option C. A privacy policy is a legal document that outlines an organization's data protection practices and how it handles personal information. Question 45. What is the difference between data backup and data archiving? A. There is no difference. B. Data backup is for disaster recovery purposes, while data archiving is for regulatory compliance purposes. C. Data backup is for short-term storage of data, while data archiving is for long-term storage. B. Data backup is for storing multiple versions of data, while data archiving is for storing only one version of data. The answer here is option C. Backup is for short-term storage, while data archiving is for long-term storage. Question 46. What factors should organizations consider when determining their data retention policies? A. Data sensitivity, employee preferences, and budget constraints. B. Industry-specific regulations, business needs, and storage capacity. C. Size of organization, type of data being managed, and cost of storage. D. None of the above. The answer is option B. Organizations should consider industry-specific regulation, their business need, and storage capacity when determining their data retention policies. Question 47. What are the key topics covered in security awareness training? A. Customer service, software tools, data analysis, financial management, marketing strategies. B. Physical security, workplace safety, first aid, emergency response procedures. C. Employee benefits, HR policies, supply chain management, workplace culture. D. Phishing, data protection, password management, social engineering, mobile device security. The answer is option D. Security awareness training covers phishing, data protection, password management, social engineering, mobile device security. Question 48. What is a message digest? A. An algorithm used to generate random numbers. B. A cryptographic key used to encrypt data. C. A compressed representation of a message. D. A method of exchanging digital certificates. The correct answer is option C. A message digest is a compressed representation of a message. Question 49. Why is it important to regularly review and update an acceptable use policy? A. To ensure that employees are following the policy. B. To make the policy more restrictive and limit employee access. C. To delegate responsibility for policy management to a third-party provider. D. To keep the policy updated with changing technology and security risk. The answer is option D. Question 50. Which of the following is not a security principle? A. Zero trust model. B. Separation of duties. C. Security awareness training. D. Principle of least privilege. The answer here is option C. Security awareness training is not a security principle. This brings us to the end of the video for domain 5. Please like, share, subscribe, and if you write the exam and you found some of these questions helpful, don't forget to leave a comment, and also don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more information. Thank you.